Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Naranjana Yashodanandana Braja Naranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Naranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Naranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jam Vishnupad Param Suprapratikacharya Stutara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Abhay Chanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Shahardas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kundarata Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi Hari Bol. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. O glorious to Srila Prabhupada. Namom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaputari Shmadharadhana Swamiti Namane. Namom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaputari Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatati Shatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized, text 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Yavan, all that. Artaha is meant. Udapani, in a well of water. Sarvataha, in all respects. Sampluta udake, in a great reservoir of water. Tavan, similarly. Sarveshu, in all. Vedeshu, Vedic literatures. Brahmanasya, of the man who knows the Supreme Brahman. Vijanataha, who is in complete knowledge. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Purport. The ritualistic and rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karmakanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 15:15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with Him. The relationship of the living entities with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 15:7. The living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3:33-7 as follows. Aho bata shvapachoto gariyan yarjikvagre vartate namatubhyam tepustapasti chukhvuksasnurarya brahmanuchurnama grinanti te. O Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born in a low family like that of a Chandara, dog-eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, the Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool, and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. He did so, and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. The translation of the verse again. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Behivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we continue our discussion on the second chapter of Bhagavad-gita. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna told Arjuna to be Atmavan, to be established in the self, in Atma. That means to rise himself on the transcendental platform. I was asked by devotees to speak also on the topics of offenses. And it's interesting that today's verse, Prabhupada, in his purport, he speaks about offenses also. And not just offenses, he speaks also about other anarthas. It is explained by our acharyas that there are different obstacles on the path of devotional service. Artha means what?
Something of value.
Something of value, yes, exactly. Something of value. And usually people think artha means wealth, because wealth is something of value. But actually, usually, for majority of people, wealth, artha is anartha. Yes. And anartha means the opposite, something that is not valuable. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimha ki jai. Yes, and we can see in this verse, Krishna explains very interesting, he gives this very interesting comparison. Usually in the older days, they had different ponds of water for different things. For example, for drinking water, they have certain well. For washing clothes, they had different well, or different pond of water, and for pots and so on, and for cooking, and for bathing and so on. They didn't bathe in the same water they drank, obviously. But here it is explained, in great reservoir of water, like big lake or a stream of a river, something like this, every purpose is served by this great reservoir of water, for all purposes. So one who knows the purpose of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas, then he achieves the ultimate goal of all kinds of Vedic knowledge. Because we know that we have different kinds of Vedic knowledge. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda, the path of worship and of the Lord. And actually it is explained that only bhakti gives Shakti to all these different paths. Without bhakti, you cannot achieve even your own process if you follow Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda. You cannot achieve without the mercy of bhakti. And these yogis, they know this, and therefore they perform devotional service. You can see even Mayavadis, they chant the holy name even. And they many times they sing very nicely. And those who are inexperienced devotees, they think, yes, this is very good. But it is explained by our acharyas, this is like milk touched by the fangs of a snake. So such a milk is poisonous. And milk is very nourishing, so the holy name is very nourishing. But touched by the fangs of a snake of Mayavada, it becomes poisonous. So hearing such name is not beneficial. It's poisonous. Yes, so we should know that aparadhas or offenses are one of the anarthas. There are 4 types of anarthas. we'll just go through them. The first type of anartha is Hridaya Dorbalyam. And Sundar Shyam Prabhu mentioned this Hridaya Dorbalyam today in the morning. Hridaya Dorbalyam means weakness of the heart. Yes, that we have different material attachments, and because of these attachments, we develop two different attitudes to this world. One is raga and other is dvesha. Raga means attachment to something that we like. This is explained, and the consequence of these different also aparadas of offenses, and other type of anartha is also, it's all interconnected. So one other type besides Hridaya Dorbalyam is Tattva Vibrama. Tattva means the truth, and Vibrama means to be deluded about the truth. And so, because we are deluded about who we are, this is Atma Vibrama, that we don't know who we are. So therefore we identify with something that we are not. And this is called, first is of course avidya, and the next is asmita. Because of this ignorance of who we are, we identify with something that we are not. This is asmita. Asmi means I am. And then, because of this asmita, I like certain things and I don't like other things. And this is raga and dvesha. Raga is attachment to things, and dvesha is aversion to different things that we think that they're against our existence. What supports our existence, we like. And whatever we consider that it's against our existence, that endangers our existence, that causes inconvenience to our existence, we hate this. We are averse to this. So we can check our life. What are our affections and aversions? Because we can see that all these affections and aversions, if they are not connected with what is beneficial for Krishna consciousness and what is not, are just the consequence of our illusion. Yes. And from Hridaya Dorbalyam is also the root of envy. Because we are attached and averse to something else, so we are envious of other people. And these anarthas, which are not directly offenses, are root also of offenses. Because if we are envious, we start to criticize. And this is, of course, offense. So we should be very careful not to let these anarthas, which are not offenses yet, to pollute our hearts. Yes. Yes, envy. Envy is one of the worst enemies of the soul. Many enemies. Krishna says that kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyanamika vairanam. In the third chapter of Bhagavad-gita, he explains that kama is most sinful enemy of this world. Kama means desire, lust. And this lust is not just sexual desire, but every desire for pleasure. But everyone wants to feel pleasure, don't we? Yes. Once Prabhupada was asked, what is the goal of life? By one reporter. And what was Prabhupada's answer? To enjoy. Yes. We all want to enjoy. This is nature of the living entity, to enjoy. Yes, we cannot take away this nature from the living entity. Every living entity wants to enjoy. Yes, but the problem is that living entities, they don't know how to enjoy. They enjoy in the wrong manner. Yes, and there are different causes of anarthas. We now discussed anarthas already, but there are different causes of anarthas. One cause of anartha is dushkritota. Dushkrita means sinful activities. Sinful activities. And because we are in this material world, we have, before we started our devotional path, we have committed unlimited sinful activities. Who knows what all we have achieved, committed? Yes, unlimited sinful activities, and therefore every living entity in this world is suffering. Yes, and you cannot avoid committing violence, for example, in this world. This world is extremely miserable world. Yes. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that those without hands are prey of those with hands. And those without legs are prey of those with legs. And one living entity is prey to another living entity. You cannot avoid this. Even breathing causes unlimited casualties. Yes, or walking. So we are held responsible for everything, actually. And these dushkritotas give, of course, rise. These sinful activities give rise to anarthas. And then there are sukritotas, anarthas that stem from pious activities, sukriti. Yes, because of sukriti, of our pious activities, we want heavenly enjoyments, actually, and we are attached because the influence of pious activities is enjoyment. Even if we don't go to heaven, still we have a nice life on earth. We are born in a well-to-do family, or we are beautiful, or good brain, or anything like this. And so we get attached to all these facilities, and therefore this is another type of anartha. Anarthas stem from sukritota. And then we have anarthas, yes, from aparadas. Yes, aparadota. And we will discuss this more in detail during our classes next week. And then fourth origin of Anarthas is what we mentioned, aparadas and dushkritotas, sukritotas, and yes, Krishna, I forgot now. It's I will remember because it's Hare Krishna. Yes, so we will discuss now aparadas. It's we'll get back to this. So yes, there are anarthas from we said from Hridaya Durbalyam. We discussed that its attachment to material things, and then there is asat trishna. Asat means sat is what? Truth. Yes, sat is truth. Or maybe we can say it's eternal existence also. Because what is eternal is the truth, of course. What is temporary, we can say it's asat. It's not reality. Because we take something as real that is actually not real. And this is asat. And trishna means thirst. Yes, that we are thirsty for something that is not real, actually. And this is, of course, different types of enjoyment. Different types of enjoyment. For example, to enjoy in this life. The other types that we like or we strive for, maybe it's not so prominent here in the West, but still it's the desire to enjoy in heaven, heavenly pleasures. But we can see that this is also very prominent, also amongst devotees, even if they don't know it. For example, we usually say, many times we can hear that devotees say, I'd like to just go back home, back to Godhead. Isn't it? But what this really means? Because if we just say like this, usually it doesn't mean that we want just service. because service we can do also here without any problem. But actually, we want to enjoy with Krishna. This just to go back home, back to Godhead, usually means I want to enjoy with Krishna. I want to enjoy. If there is Krishna, it's okay, but but actually I want to enjoy. And of course, Krishna knows our jargon and knows what is beyond our words. So, because devotional life is very pious life, isn't it? We abstain from sinful activities. We don't engage in illicit sex or gambling or intoxication or meat eating, and we chant the holy name and so on. So, devotee's life, if he follows the regulative principle, is very, very pious. But if we don't have this strong desire to serve, and we have more desire to enjoy, then Krishna understands our purpose, understands what we really want to achieve. So he'll send us to heaven because he understands our jargon. Yes. So this is Asat Trishna. What we should really strive for is service, unconditional service. Ahaitikya pratihata. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira dokshaje. Ahaitikya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Only by unconditional devotional service. Unconditional. Not, I would like to be free from anxieties, for example. Or I pray for health. I pray for good family relationships. I pray for a good husband, good wife, good children. For different boons. Yes. I pray that this Prabhu would go out of ashram. Or anything like this. Yes, these are material desires, but different, influenced by different modes of material nature, either by goodness or passion or ignorance. So, according to our desires, we will achieve our goal, actually. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavan tyajanti kalivaram tam tam aveti kaunta sadata bhava bhavita. Krishna explains in 8th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita that whatever state of consciousness one has at the time of death, he will achieve this without fail. Yeah, so whatever state of consciousness we develop throughout our life, definitely at the time of death will focus on this, because we cannot focus on any other thing, because death is not something pleasurable. Death is a really traumatic experience, because all our functions stop working. For example, breathing is we hardly breathe. And the liver is stopped working. The kidneys stop working. Lungs, our sight, our smell, our touch, everything, and we may be in pain, and so on. And it's not easy to remember something that we are not accustomed to. Even if we step on a small thorn, it takes maybe a millimeter in our foot. But how can we chant with great concentration if we have a thorn in our foot? Is it easy? If a small thorn, 1 millimeter, is pricking us in the foot, is it easy to chant? No. But it's insignificant inconvenience if we compare it with dying. So we can just imagine how disturbed mind is at that time. So if we are not attached to Krishna very much at the time of death, definitely those things that we are attached to, they will be present in our consciousness at the time of death. We cannot avoid this. We cannot force our mind in other direction. There was one devotee, she's not alive anymore in this body. She had a cancer, and before she died, not so close to death, she had a surgery, and before she was put into anesthesia, some doctor said to her that you should think of something you really like. And she explained that she was thinking, what should I think of? My garden. You can imagine, she could die, and she was thinking of her garden. And she was a devotee. So, yes, we should be careful. Where is our heart? What we really want to achieve. Yes. So, all these things are anarthas in our life. Asat Trishna, Hridaya Dorbalyam. And then there are aparadas. Radha means what? Worship. Perfect worship. Radharani is the queen of worship. And aparada is against Radha. Yes. It's not beneficial for Radha, or not beneficial for worship of Krishna. Yes. And all the devotees should consider themselves as servants of Radha. Yes. Especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because Lord Chaitanya brought us this ultimate aspiration to be servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani, who is the servant, perfect servant of Krishna. Yes, so aparada is directly against Radha. So how can we expect that if we go against Radha's wishes, that Krishna would be satisfied with us? Do you think Krishna would be satisfied if we go against Radha? Yes, and there are different types of aparadas. One type of aparada is seva aparadas. And there are many types of seva aparadas. There are different lists of seva aparadas. There are a list of 32 seva aparadas. And then this list of 64 seva aparadas. So many types of seva aparadas. Seva is service, basically means service to the deities. It's interesting that it is explained that all different types of aparadas can be easily removed by chanting the holy name, except one type of apparatus.
Offense against devotees?
Yes, it's true.
Offending the holy name?
Offending the holy name.
Yeah.
And offenses of devotees is, of course, one of the nama apparatus. Yes. Is against the holy name, aparadas against the holy name. Nama aparadas are the most grave offenses. As long as we don't come in touch with devotional service, we don't commit aparadas. We commit sinful activities, maybe. And it's very interesting because there are different stories. We can be even offensive. There was one a man-eater, a cannibal. And one brahmana went through the forest, and this man-eater jumped on him that he would devour him. And this brahmana, to protect himself, he chanted the holy name. And this man-eater got purified hearing the holy name. And this was the effect of chanting the holy name. Although this is offensive, of course, to eat brahmana. This is offense, but it didn't take effect in him because he was not crooked. Yes, crookedness is one of the consequences of anarthas and aparadas especially, is crookedness of the heart. And this is one of the most grievous quality that we can achieve. Crookedness. And you mentioned today one of the effects of aparadas is lack of faith. We lose faith. Yes, because of aparadas. And of course, if we don't have faith in bhakti, and we consider that something is more powerful than bhakti, is great offense. An example, very interesting example from the scripture is Ajamila. Ajamila was very nice brahmana, but he was varnashrama brahmana. He was not a bhakta, really a devotee. And it's explained by our acharyas that because of this faith in karma, he was offensive to the holy name. But when he fell down from the position of a brahmana, he didn't have faith in karma anymore. So he became offenseless. So this was his fortune that he fell from the brahmana position. Because when he named his son Narayana, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that even when he named his son, he was already delivered. Not just at the end of life, but when he named his son Narayana, because he was free of offense. Because he didn't have faith in any other process. Of course, he didn't have faith in bhakti also, but but he didn't have faith that something is more powerful. Yes, bhakti is extremely powerful, but offenses stunt her. That means that she freezes. Bhakti Devi freezes when there are offenses. Yes. We can remember from Srimad Bhagavatam, from 6th canto, that Yamaraj said to Yamadutas that bring me only those who never bow down to the Lord, who never speak the name of the Lord, and so on. You remember? And it was connected to this story of Ajamila. But we have a story from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam of King Nriga. King Nriga was extremely pious person. He was so charitable. It is explained that he was giving in charity cows, like different types of charities, and cows and gold and so on to brahmanas. His pious activities were like grains of sand in desert. But once happened that he gave a huge herd of his cows to certain brahmana, and then one of the cows given away to brahmana ran back to her old herd of cows, and then King Nriga gave the next herd of cows to another brahmana. Shri Prahlad Nrsimha ki jai. And it happened that this cow that ran away from the first herd was in the second herd, given to another brahmana. And this first brahmana came to King Nriga and complained. No, actually, he complained to other brahmana, give me this cow, this is my cow. And he said, King Nriga gave me this cow, so it's my cow. So they came to King Nriga, and he one said that this brahmana took away my cow. And this brahmana said, but you gave me this cow. And King Nriga understood that this cow was ran off his herd and came back to the original herd. And he was found in a predicament. And he said to both brahmanas, give me this cow and I will give you 10,000 cows to each of you, other cows. And no one wanted to exchange this cow for anything. And they just walked away. Very, very in bad temper. And then, when King Nriga died, he went to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj said to King Nriga, you have unlimited pious activities, and for these pious activities you can go to heaven for unlimited amount of time, actually. But there is one impious thing also. What do you want to experience first? Heaven or consequence of this sin? And he chose to experience the consequence of sin. And Yamaraj said, so be it. And he appeared as a big lizard in a well in Dwaraka. And then one day the boys, Krishna's sons, were playing around, and their ball fell into the well. And they found a great big lizard there. And they said, and they went, and they tried to get it out from the well, but they couldn't. So they went to Krishna to get it out. And so Krishna took it out, and this lizard turned to celestial being. And then he explained that he's King Nriga and so on. But what is the point of this story? Although this king was extremely pious, and of course he was also chanting the holy names, because every pious activity should be accompanied with chanting of the holy names, and perform other devotional activities. He was still brought to Yamaraj and became a lizard. because of offense, because he had more faith in pious activities than in bhakti. But because he was extremely pious and performed devotional service, knowing service to great devotees even. So he got the opportunity to be saved by Krishna himself. Yes, so he was blessed, we can say. Yes, so there are many consequences, different consequences of anarthas and aparadas. And other type of aparadas is tadiya aparadas. Tadiya means what is near to Krishna. It means different paraphernalia for Krishna, or devotees. Krishna's devotees are also tadiya. We said seva aparadas, tadiya aparadas, nama aparadas, and jiva aparadas. There are also offenses against living entities. This means, of course, unnecessary violence. Because we are not completely non-violent. It's not possible to be completely non-violent. There are Jains, or who are they, who have covered nose and they sweep their way, not to step on any living entity. But just by this sweeping, they are killing so many living entities. You cannot avoid violence. And therefore, ahimsa is not our philosophy. Our philosophy is not ahimsa, not excessive violence. So we shouldn't commit unnecessary violence, or violence that cannot be avoided. Yes. And so we should consider ourselves as servants of the servant of Krishna. We can see in this verse, that we go back to this verse of Bhagavad-gita, even a dog eater can be immediately purified by chanting the holy name. So these are not exaggerations. We will discuss more deeply aparadas in our next classes, but it is important to understand something which is explained here by Prabhupada in the purport. He says that where is this? I don't. He's stressing chanting the holy name without offense, but this is. Where is this? Thank you. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is very important to understand. And when we vow to chant 16 rounds, at least 16 rounds, this is vow to chant offensively, of course, not with offenses. Yes. We shouldn't chant with offenses. Yes. We should know that offenses are against the will of the Lord. Sins are far less grave than offenses, because in Slovenian we have a word for sin is greh, and greh means actually to miss something. It stems from the same word that to miss something. So sin is to miss our goal. We commit we want to be happy, we said. Anandamayo Vyasat. Everyone wants to be happy. But we do something that takes us away from this goal, and this is sin. So we miss our target to be happy. Yes. But offense is not just that we miss our goal, but we displease the object of our goal. It's Krishna. This is if we take, for example, the sin is like I don't know, hitting the nail with a hammer, and we miss the nail and we bang on our finger. It's painful, of course. But offense is like beating Krishna with a hammer. You understand the difference? The sin is painful, but offense is much more severe. We may not immediately experience the suffering because we bang Krishna. We don't bang ourselves. Yes, but it's much more grave. Yes. So we'll conclude at this point here for today. Is there any questions or comments? Or doubts? Yes.
What again does Asat Krishna mean?
Asat Trishna, this is the thirst for temporary things, and it is explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Actually, this is strong desire to different types of enjoyment. That means enjoyment here on this earth, enjoyment to enjoy heavenly pleasures, and to be liberated, for a desire for liberation. Is also Asat Trishna. Yes. And desire for pratishta, to be recognized as something special. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm thinking how much one should focus like in really understanding and go deeper into the offenses and see what different types of offenses one may do and so forth, compared to like the remedy of that, which is chanting the holy name and putting one's attention in being more attentive in get better in the process of chanting. So
both is important. Because ignorance will not deliver us from the consequences. This is also in law. It's like this, isn't it? If you commit some criminal activity, even if you don't know it's against the law, you are punishable. And it's same in devotional life, because something is not pleasurable for Krishna, and you keep doing it under the excuse that you don't know. Understand? Bhakti-yoga means to serve Krishna with love. So, if you really love Krishna, we of course get well informed what is pleasing to our object of our love and what is displeasing for him, isn't it? If you really love someone and you want to make him or her happy with some lunch, for example, or dinner, you would ask this person what you like the most, Or is there anything you don't like? Isn't it? Uh, if you just prepare something of your choice, what you like, maybe you will cook something that other person doesn't like. And this would be displeasing for you and for this person, isn't it? So we should also know what is pleasing to Krishna and what is displeasing to Krishna. This is act of devotion, actually, to get this knowledge. Um, so, and of course, we should also focus on the chanting of the holy name, because this is also pleasing to Krishna. So devotion means to act pleasingly to Krishna. This is the basic understanding. And acting pleasingly is, of course, to get knowledge what is pleasing and what is displeasing, and what is pure devotional service and what is mixed devotional service, and what is not devotional service. Therefore, we get this knowledge from our acharyas, and Prabhupada spent so much of his life and energy to translate all these books for the purpose to know what is pure devotional service and what is not. And so we should know these things. They are meant for us, for our benefit. They're not meant just to be written there in the book. And that we can show everyone, yes, we have this book. We have a commentary on Bhagavata-gita. But we should know why this is written. What is the purpose? So this knowledge is also devotional service. Yes. And if we don't want to know, just to avoid offenses, this is crookedness again. It's another type of offense. You understand? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes.
What value would you value the completely not transcendental just experience with the other devotees? Which quality this has?
I didn't understand your question.
For development of devotional service, is it of value for you the experience with the other devotees I have personally?
Mm-hmm. So, associating with other devotees with some other purpose than devotional service, or
when I feel I can talk to everyone and I just have subjectively good feeling with the other devotees, is this more beneficial to develop taste in reading or in chanting than when I just want to get out very quickly to pure devotional service, and because I feel so miserable?
I don't know if I understood it correctly, but this just desire to get out to pure devotional service. This is very interesting. You put it very interestingly. This is more desire for liberation than for service. Understand? Because as explained by Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, good relationship with devotees is also one essential path of devotional service, aspect of devotional service. So we should have good relationship with devotees, with seniors, with our peers, and also with those who are junior to us. We should be very merciful to those who are junior, friends with those who are our peers, and seek association and guidance and serve those who are more advanced in devotional service. So these different relationships are very important. For example, there was a Sudama, the flower garland maker in Mathura. You may remember when Krishna came from Vrindavan to Mathura, he was strolling about Mathura, and he came to a flower garland maker, Sudama, and Sudama gave both Krishna and Balaram two most beautiful garlands. And then Krishna offered him a boon, and he asked for a boon to have friendship with devotees also. So we can see how important it is to be very friendly. And he asked also for the boon for pure devotional service, for friendship with devotees, to be merciful to other living entities. Yes. So he actually prayed for Madhyama Adhikari stage. Yes. Ishvareta Dadineshu Balisheshu Dishratsutra Prima Maitri Kripo Peksha Yakuroti Samadhyama. This is explained. The Madhyama Bhakta is the one who has prema towards the Lord, that means love for the Lord, who is friend towards devotees, and who is very merciful to this offenseless living entities, and those who are against devotional service he avoids strictly. This is Vaishnava Achar, how Vaishnava behaves. So his purpose is, of course, to be the servant of the servant of the servant. Gopi Bartu Padakamalur Dasa Dasana Dasa. This is aspiration of a devotee, to be servant of Krishna, servant of the servant of Krishna. Yes. Is this okay? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Please accept.